nice to be here. I've performed in a few churches, a few pubs, a few schools. I find schools quite a strange place to perform, mainly because the whole school experience completely traumatised me, to be honest. I went to a sort of school in the northeast of England, in Gateshead. The sort of school where they searched you as you went in. And if you didn't have a knife, they gave you one. Because school was quite a rough place, I kind of took on the sort of class clown kind of things, do impressions of the teachers and all things that I'm sure were terribly funny at the time, but looking back you just think, stop it, if you've been in my class. But I just like telling jokes. I've got loads of joke books at home, that was the kind of thing I did. I always had a sort of joke of the week and that kind of thing. I'm going to tell you a joke now, okay? It isn't funny. You need to have heard it for me to go on with the story, okay? 2 bears in an airing cupboard. Which one's in the army? The one on the tank. Hey! It isn't funny, okay, but as a 13, 14-year-old, that was absolutely hilarious. But the thing about this joke was, I told it to a lot of people one day. My best mate particularly found it funny, and I was staying at hers for tea that night. And she wanted to tell the joke to her mum, okay, or her mum, as we would call them. So she got into the kitchen and said, "Oh, Louise told a joke today, I must tell you, it's really funny. 2 bears on a tank, which one's in the airing cupboard?" Oh, no. Much funnier than the original joke, you know. I stand before you now as an addict, I have to admit. I'm not addicted to alcohol. I'm not addicted to cigarettes, or anything stronger than that, like heroin or anything like that. I'm addicted to sugar. I know. The shock horror from Ken's voice. I'm addicted to sugar. I don't see it as a problem, however, okay? I think it's fine that I take sugar in my tea and sugar in my coffee. However, sometimes you go around to somebody's house and say, "Do you want a cup of tea?" You say, "Yes, please, that'll be lovely." Of course, I'm a vicar. Of course I drink tea. It's what we do all day. And they say, "Milk?" And you go, "Yes, please, and 1 sugar." And they go, "Oh, sugar? Sugar?" You'd think you'd stolen their soul at that point. And somebody will say, "I don't know if we've got any." You don't know if you've got any? Just as well they don't offer me coffee, I take 2. Take 2. Heaven forfend that I should ask for 2. And I think we're being marginalised as sugar takers. I'm absolutely convinced that sugar taking is going to go the same way as cigarette smoking went. Okay, in the 1950s it was quite cool to smoke. Okay, everybody smoked in the 50s. By the 80s, everyone could see that there was a problem, it was causing health issues, that kind of thing. By 2007, smoking has been banned in all public places. Okay? Sugar will go the same way. We are next. Okay? I can see the day when I'll go into a pub, and I quite frequently drink tea in a pub, because I'm often driving, and I get cold. Okay? So I often have a cup of tea in the pub. And come the day, I'll say, "Can I have a cup of tea, please?" And the barmaid will say, "Yes, of course you can," and start preparing it. And I'll say, "Can I have some sugar with it?" And she'll lean on the bar and go, "You do know you'll have to drink that outside, don't you?" These aren't my words, as teachers would say. We'll be marginalised, just like the smokers were. We'll be all stood outside, shivering around our cups of hot, sweet tea. Okay? And the more you do this, the more you'll just drive it underground. Okay? So you'll always stood there going, "It's nice tea, isn't it? Yeah, I've got 2 sugars in mine. Oh, I'm down to 1. I'm trying to cut down. I'm down to half." Okay? And a shady figure will sidle up to you and go, "Do you want to buy some sugar?" "No, I'm okay, this is sweet enough." "Ah, but what about your second cup? Do you not want some for your second cup?" "No, it's okay, thanks. I've got Tate and Lyle on special offer." Tell you where good luck. Fantastic place, but we realised quite quickly that we know nothing about animals. Absolutely nothing. We ended up going, "Oh, look, a baloo." We ended up calling them by their Disney names. You know, "Oh, vicious Shere Khan, heard of Bambi." Randomly using those. But we were up in Edinburgh, and it was, I would say that's about 140 miles from my hometown of Newcastle. Okay, but I was magically transported back there in an instant. Okay, lots of people milling around, and the zoo is built on a hill, basically. So to get to the zebras, you have to walk up quite a big hill. It was a hot day. They do have them in Edinburgh occasionally. It was a hot day. We were walking on this, and there was a grandma there with our granddaughter who must have been around 5, and she was hot. It was in the afternoon, she'd had enough. And in order to get our granddaughter to catch up, I realised instantly that she was a Geordie, because she shouted, "How are you, pet? We're going to see the zebras, you know, the horses with their jammies on." tell you this, I'll need to explain why we went to Edinburgh Zoo. It was the year I turned 40. I had a list of things I wanted to do in that year, and one of them was stroke a penguin. I know, and just, they're birds, okay? But they swim, or they're feathery, or they're rubbery. That's all I wanted to dance to. That's all I just wanted to see what they were like. And in Edinburgh Zoo, they have a big enclosure with penguins in. They have that type, and that type. Lots of different types of penguins. But they do this thing called the Penguin Parade. Oh yes, I want a bit of this. Every day, at the same time every day, they open the enclosure. They open the door to the enclosure and the penguins are allowed to come out amongst the people. So you get really, really close and there's nothing between you and them. I thought I might just go, oh, feathery, nice. I didn't in the end. But before we went, I thought, I better make sure that's going to happen the day we're there or I'll be really disappointed. Okay? And this is what I found on their website. And this is no word of a lie. And this proves that the zoo considers health and safety far too much. Okay? So we're looking at the Penguin Parade. As with all of our interactive animal sessions, the participation of the animals is strictly on a voluntary basis. That's good, yeah, you don't poke them out with a stick, that's always a good thing. For this reason, it is impossible to say how many penguins, if any, will choose to join the Penguin Parade on any given day. It gets better. This is the last line. In addition, the Penguin Parade may be cancelled due to inclement weather, icy conditions, or other circumstances beyond Edinburgh Zoo's control. Icy conditions? The penguins will be given the wellies next! Completely ridiculous. And I taught media and performing arts to really, really nice kids, essentially. From the age 16 to 19, they came to me, we did a BTEC, they went off to university, it was lovely, like, great job. But they were quite naive, some of them, didn't know very much about the world. One of the things I had to do with them was take them through the university application process, okay? This is before the days of the internet, where now the kids just go on the internet and find out all the information they need. In those days, they had to trawl through all of the university prospectuses. It used to take weeks, okay? So I've taken my tutor group down, prepared for this long struggle to find out all the courses they wanted to do. And one lad, who was usually very bright at other things, pulled a prospectus off the shelf. He looked at it in a very puzzled fashion and said, "School of Art and Design in Cumbria." Cumbria? Isn't that where all the jokes come from? No, Marcus, that's Columbia. Not a clue about geography. No idea where they were in the world. Couldn't point to a place on the map if their lives depended on it. But without a doubt, and I'll leave you with this story, this is still the funniest thing a student has ever said to me when I was a teacher. Okay? Taught media. Okay? So we're looking at representation this particular day. We're looking at stereotyping, the type of language that's used to describe certain people groups, images, and that kind of thing. Just as a starting point, we're looking at the Argos catalogue. Okay? The toy section, not like the washing machines or anything, we're looking at the Argos catalogue because all the boys' toys are on dark blue pages and they're all guns and cars and things that go bang and smell and they're all dressed as army officers and that kind of thing. On the girls' pages, they're all pink and everything's fluffy and lovely and they're all dressed as fairies and they're all pushing shopping trolleys and doing iron and that kind of thing. It is that obvious, okay? And I said to them, I posed them this question: was there something you wanted as a child that you couldn't have because of your gender? A lad called Simon, his hand shot up, and he said, breasts. And on that note, I shall leave you alone. Thank you very much.